Welcome. I'm so glad you're here. This is going to be brief but impactful, and I hope that you can really take time, take space for dropping into our bodies and allowing whatever needs to come through for you during this time to have the capacity and space to. So, if this isn't a good time, pause it, come back later. I want you to be fully present. I'm going to start with a little bit of breath work, and we're going to just sink into our bodies before I even dive into who I am, what this is about, all of that. Okay, so go ahead, take a deep breath. Do that again with me, okay? We're going to go in through the nose and out through the nose this time, okay? It actually allows for a really good diaphragm breath to fully get down to your diaphragm to give you that feeling, okay? So in through our nose, hold, back out through our nose. If you want to this time, we're going to do it again and put your hand on your belly. Sometimes I even put my hand on my heart, kind of just like brace my body for it. And what you want to be looking for when you are breathing is when you are breathing in, you want that belly to be expanding. It's filling with that air and oxygenating all of our organs. And when you're breathing outward, you want it to kind of collapse and feel that like sunken corset feeling into your abs. So let's try that again. And this time, whatever feels more comfortable, in through your nose or out through your nose when you're breathing, okay? In through your nose, out through your mouth. You know what I mean? Ready? Here we go. Get all my breath out. I'm gonna breathe in. Never be afraid to make a sound on your exhale. It can sometimes help move that stagnant energy and shift it around in your bodies a little bit more. I hope you're feeling a little more in your bodies. A couple more things I want to do. If you are seated, sit comfortably, okay? The way I'm positioned, I kind of can't, so I'm going to be kind of moving around a little bit to get my body in comfortable positions as I move through this with you guys. If you're laying down, even better, prop me up on your belly or on the table next to you. You really don't even have to look at me. You can just listen. I hope this is something that you can bookmark and save and come back to when you're needing it in the future. I don't know about you, but for me, I will hear something, and the next time I hear it, I take away something new. But another thing I really want us to do before we dive fully in is just sit there, kind of shake it out a little bit. Okay? Adjust whatever needs adjusting. And I want you to kind of like roll your shoulders back a couple times. Roll your neck around. Good. Just focus on your breathing. It doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be exaggerated. Just focusing on your breath, okay? I want you to unclench your jaw. Close your eyes. Release the tension in your forehead. When you unclench your jaw, if your mouth comes open, let it. I want you to release your shoulders. Just relax them. Let them settle, sink into whatever seat, chair, couch, bed you're in right now. And keep breathing, just focusing on your breath. And just allowing each exhale, you just sink deeper into your body. Now allow that relaxation and that tension relief to just flow through your body. Relax your arms. Release your fingers. Don't clench your fist. Lay them open. Wiggle your toes a little bit. Just relax your feet and your ankles. When you feel good, go ahead and open your eyes or keep them shut if that feels good. Like I said, you don't really need to look at me. this entire time, I promise. Hi, my name is Molly Meek, and I am a manifesting and mindset coach. You are new to me completely, or if you've been here for a minute, I'm going to give you a little bit of background and history into my expertise and my life and why we're all here today, basically. I'm 37 years old. I live in Michigan, currently relocated to Detroit from my hometown of Columbus, Ohio, to help my fiance through residency as he's finishing his general surgery residency here. We have every intention of moving back to Ohio next summer once he is completed. I am a single mom. I have a daughter who's 10. I divorced her dad when she was 2. And that is what has led me on this experience, epiphany, euphoric catalyst into the life that I feel like I'm now living. But everything prior to that point was shaping every step after. So when I graduated high school, I went to school for holistic health. I wanted to become a life coach. That was always the goal. And life took other paths that actual college dissolved that major. They didn't have enough of the professors to sustain it. So I ended up moving back home and I went to cosmetology school, which was the forerunner of what I wanted to do with my life. But I kind of just got a little veered off track. But honestly, if you know anything about the beauty industry, then you know they go hand in hand. I don't know if you have ever sat in your stylist chair and just unearthed everything that's going on in your life and been able to vent or express things to them that you may not be able to do to your people outside of therapists, because we don't have an attachment to the people in your life. So it's a very easy, neutral conversation. And we're always going to take your side. But I felt myself embodying both career paths. But it wasn't until, oh, there goes my light. Let's be confirmation. It wasn't until after I got divorced and I went on my own self-healing, we'll say expedition. It was way more than a journey, that I truly discovered this soft life that I'm now living. It took me a while to get here, and I'll be fully transparent with you. I married really, really young. And when I got married, my frontal lobe wasn't even developed. Okay, let's start there. But also, I come from a home that was broken at a very young age. My parents divorced when I was 7. My dad was very, very absent my entire life. He would make plans and falter and cancel. It's just a full lifetime of abandonment from my father. And that led me down a path of trying to fill a lot of voids. And that can look different for many of us, but for myself personally, I tried to fill those voids with boys. But businesses, the amount of LLCs that I have created is astounding. I tried to fill them with friends. I tried to fill them with vices. I'm sure a lot of you can relate, but it wasn't until I, like I said, got divorced that it really sent me down an inward journey to really captivate exactly what I had learned with my past with holistic health and everything. And it sent me down a journey to get a lot more accreditations and clarification for myself, because I wanted to break some generational cycles that were occurring within my family for my daughter and I's sake. And it was terrifying for sure, but it has been the most beautiful mess of a life that I have now lived. And that's why I'm here. I feel throughout my entire journey, I have always connected and been drawn to women who are maybe not able to find their worth or their voice or fully embody the woman they want to become, whether that's in relationships to deal with love, business, money, whatever. And now my entire life's mission, and what my life's work is made up of, is helping women to recognize their power, call it back in, but to first and foremost regulate their nervous system in order to be able to hold the capacity for everything that you're manifesting. Because I can tell you a few stories, but I'll briefly share this one. When I was newly single, after my divorce, I wanted so badly to be back in a long-term partnership, and I would manifest men out of nowhere, and they would totally come into my reality, and they would be a mirror for things that I had yet to heal. Or I would manifest waves of money, like lots of windfall at one time, and then things in life would occur where the money would just have to be used for emergencies, or I wouldn't manage it properly, things like that. Like, I couldn't hold everything that I would call in, even though I was manifesting beautifully. and I always would get things that I want, and I would call them in really well, but I never could hold on to it. And it really led me back to the abandonment issues that I had from my parent, and the way that I viewed love for a long, long time, which is why I created this Regulated Romance Masterclass, because I hope that my experience and the nuggets that I share here with you today may be of insight to you. So I have notes. I'm going to pull us some cards. I've got some water to keep myself hydrated. I request you do the same. These are all things that I'm doing. Even the way I started this video is a somatic way to help regulate your nervous system, and I will talk about many more, but few things that you can do is hydrate and fuel your body properly. And I know it sounds so simple, because it is, but just because things are simple doesn't mean it's easy. We are programmed very, very differently in the society that we live in today than we were, centuries ago. And I think that we're really, the whole point of nervous system regulation is this. I heard it in a quote recently, and it has just like pierced my heart. You weren't happier as a child because of any outside factor. It wasn't better time. Nothing was better when you were a child. Well, we didn't have bills, but you know what I'm saying? The difference is, back then, we were in the present moment. Let that sink in. It's not that you were happier or life was better. It was that you were living in the present moment. You weren't worried about what's to come. You weren't freaking out about things or regretting the past. You were living in the present moment. Okay? So, with that, let's get started. I really, really, really want you guys to sit with these things, okay? Because I'm not here to give you dating advice. I'm here to help your body feel safe enough to receive the softness and partnerships and business and abundance that you deserve, and hold it, okay? So tonight is about shifting from thinking to feeling. Does that make sense? I want us to get out of our heads. I want us to get into our hearts, and I want us to shift from thinking women to feeling women, okay? You don't need to learn how to manifest love, okay? You manifest automatically. We do it. We've been doing it since birth. It's nothing that you need to learn how to do. You already fucking do it. And if I can stress anything, it's that. Because our thoughts become things, and everything that we think is projected onto our reality 3, 6, 9 months in out. So whatever you're thinking now is really shaping your reality for the spring and summer. Okay? So this is why we're starting now. We don't need to wait till the new year. We're going to start now. Okay? But you don't need to learn how to manifest. You need to learn how to hold it. Okay? So let's dive in. My favorite part of all of this is the science to it, because your nervous system's primal job is survival. Okay? Not connection. It is to help you survive life. That is all its primary job is to do. Okay? So when you're dysregulated, your brain shuts down the ability to do these things. Self-reflect, emotionally co-regulate, trust unfamiliar experiences, including healthy love. Okay? When our body and nervous system is programmed to a comfort zone that is chaos, a healthy comfort zone will feel so unfucking comfortable and foreign. When we're dysregulated, it literally shuts down the body's ability to interpret like any nuance. So here are some patterns that you can like instantly recognize. We all know fight, flight, freeze. Okay, I'm going to walk through those a little bit. Fawn is another one that you will experience. When you're in fight, okay, hyper independence, super defensiveness, controlling, and you like, I'll do it myself. I don't need a man. I got this. Okay. I got me here. I'm going to get me there. I don't need help. Very Miss INDEPE. Yeah. Her. Okay. When you're in flight, that can feel like ghosting, not texting people back, avoiding emails, avoiding conversations, not answering the phone when someone's calling you. You just hit the ignore button. Avoiding intimacy, avoiding vulnerable conversations. Okay. You lose interest fast in people. You get the ick about little mundane things. More, orange flags or bronzed flags, not really red flags, but your nervous system, again, it's built for surviving, not thriving. We've got to regulate it there. Okay. When you're in freeze mode, you'll shut down, completely shut down. You will disassociate. You'll feel overwhelmed by conflict or intimacy. It doesn't matter. Your body just can't anymore. Okay. And then when you're in fawn, it's that people pleaser. You're over giving, over explaining. You want to fix it. You shrink to be chosen instead of standing with your proud chest and just like letting things that aren't meant for you fall away, because that fear of abandonment is so, so deep that you will shrink yourself to avoid that feeling of abandonment. Is this making sense? I hope this is making sense. Because most of us don't fear love. We don't. We do not fear love. We fear losing ourselves inside of love. We fear being abandoned, being not fully seen. We don't fear love itself. We fear the symptoms that come with it. And so the body keeps score, basically. And that's the way that our physio and like the way that our nervous system helps us to really recognize things. So I'll explain it simply like this. In childhood, dysregulation will equal like adult hypervigilance. Okay. Inconsistent caregivers from our past. Okay. Nervous system is going to be wired for unpredictability. Okay. If we couldn't count on our parents to show up for a play date when they said that they would, we are going to be completely hardwired to brace ourselves for inconsistency with the people we love around us. And that can look a lot like self-sabotage and things like that. Okay. Emotional neglect at a young age will lead to fear of emotional exposure. So if you were neglected when you were younger or in past relationships, you may have a fear of being like just like so exposed and like vulnerable in emotional situations. And this isn't just in love. This can be in business, and this is 100% related to money. Money is an energetic thing, just like the rest of the things on this earth, and it is an energetic exchange. It's a relationship that we can build. So all of these things can apply to business, money, love, any of it, okay? Your stress hormones, guys. I cannot stress, no pun intended, your cortisol, your adrenaline, it will become normal, okay, for your levels to be higher. And it will feel like peace will feel boring, or peace will feel suspicious, like waiting for the other shoe to drop. I always tell my clients, I'm like, if you're bored, you are probably experiencing peace that your body has not experienced yet. Okay? And if it has experienced it, it's been a very, very long time, and you've re-regulated yourself to this like chaos feeling. All right? And so let's get to like the root of the problem, right? Well, let me back up for a second. So going back on all of those things where I gave you what it was and what it can exhibit in your adulthood and life, let's kind of reframe that, okay? The nervous system chooses what has the most practice surviving. So we have to, and we're going to do this throughout this whole lesson, but we have to practice feeling safe, practice feeling stable, practice regulating and feeling seen, heard, and loved by ourselves, so that it chooses that when your neuropathways like kick in, okay? Healthy love feels really fucking foreign, AKA threatening. A lot of us, if you're here, you have been exposed to toxic parental examples of love, toxic past relationships, toxic business partnerships, toxic friendships. Don't even get me started on the Mean Girls. And your whole body feels threatened when you have a genuine, unconditional source of love flow into your life, and it will kind of put it at arm's length and all of those things. Survival mode makes like chaotic partners feel like chemistry sometimes, okay? So let me say that again a little slower. Survival mode makes chaotic partners feel like chemistry sometimes, because if they're from a toxic upbringing and so are you, and you guys are coming together and you have like all of this like tension and whatever, and you're like love bombing the fuck out of each other, it will feel like chemistry until it hits chaos, okay? Just recognizing the patterns. So if we get to the root of this, okay, you are not blocked from love. You are not blocked from money. You are bracing for impact. That's the difference. Your body cannot receive what it does not feel safe holding. Your body cannot receive what it does not feel safe holding. And that's where I come in. So we're going to kind of go through the framework of this regulated romance lesson and give you guys some goals. If you want to take notes, go for it. But the first goal is teaching the body what safe love feels like. Okay, let's dive in. So some like somatic cues for safety is going to be an exhale, a softness in the belly, a repetitive energy. Let me explain it like this. So the neuroscience behind it, right? The body decides before the mind. Repeat. The body decides before the mind, okay? Micro practices you can do. Pause before you respond, okay? Like I was showing you at the beginning, okay? You're like hand to heart grounding, okay? Also, being like very like orienting the room. So this is one thing you can do if you're feeling just like really overwhelmed, really anxious, and just like out of your head and not in your body. Just kind of start naming things in the room, okay? Going through your senses, like touch, see, smell, taste, just kind of really bringing yourself back into your body. That's the biggest thing. When we are in an anxious state, we are really focused on like what's coming, okay? And when we're worried and we have that like deep heaviness in our chest, we're really focused on the past. And when we're in, like I was saying earlier, that childlike energy when we were kids living in the present moment, you will feel this like, okay, you know what I mean? So like getting there, because regulated women do not chase clarity. I'm gonna repeat, regulated women do not chase clarity, they create it, okay? You're not waiting to be ready or feel ready. Ready is a decision, and we decide today, okay? So for the next one, capacity, okay? The first one that we just went over was safety. This next one is capacity, and the goal is to expand your ability to hold consistent, stable, nourishing love. You can call it in and you can manifest it lots, but to be able to hold it is the goal, okay? Now, capacity equals emotional endurance. Rephrase. Your capacity, okay, is how much you can emotionally sustain without like crashing out, shutting down, like all those cues I mentioned in the beginning where your body will be like in fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. It's how much you can hold before your body activates one of those responses to put you into survival mode. Because remember, that's its only job. So with that being said, and that thought in mind, these are ways that you can self-sabotage when your capacity is too low. I want you to think of this too. I heard this analogy and it really stuck with me. I tell you right now to memorize the numbers 88259, 88259. I can't even say it fast enough. 88259. Okay, and like you're just memorize that right now, okay? And someone comes to talk to you, or like your kid comes in or whatever, and they're like, hey mom, and whatever, you're at work, and they're like, hey, can you, and you're like, hold on, 88529, 88529, 88529, hold on, I need to memorize this number, hold on. And you're like trying to do that, right? When, if you just had a notebook, you could write the number down and set it aside and come to that conversation and then come back to it, okay? So when your emotional tank is too full and someone tries to put more in it, it's not going to go in because it's too full, right? If it's lower, right, there's room for it to fill up. But if your capacity is almost maxed out and you have too little, okay, these are some ways that self-sabotage will look in your life. Overthinking. Hi, we all do it. Okay? Expecting rejection. Expecting the worst case scenario. Okay? Getting irritated with healthy partners. Okay? I have experienced that a lot in this relationship because this is such a unconditional, nourishing, life-altering connection that I'm in after a lifetime of toxic, chaotic, thought it was chemistry, lust-built loves, right? Because I've been striving to find what I was never given as a child. And I will literally sometimes be like making stories up in my head when they like aren't even reality and I'm just projecting that shit. Feeling overwhelmed by closeness. Sometimes in partnerships, business, relation, whatever, you get close to them and you can feel really overwhelmed because maybe you haven't had anyone in your life be that close to you, or it didn't feel safe to feel that close, okay? Some ways that some tools basically that we can kind of use to go through this is a window of tolerance, okay? Doing like micro doses of intimacy and vulnerability, okay? A couple ways that can look is maybe sharing something with someone that feels a little scary and allowing the space for rejection to be there, kind of like rejection therapy, but allowing it to not be that way and going into it, you can expect the worst, of course, but like, what if it turns out better? What if it actually works? You know what I mean? But like also working through some nervous system ladders where we did the breath work in the beginning. I mentioned, writing that number down to get it out. You can sit and journal and get that shit out of your body and allow it to stop taking up so much space inside of you. I also use this a lot, the vacuum analogy where, you sweep your vacuuming and the tank of it gets full, and say you haven't emptied it in a while and you're going to like do the stairs or, your room or whatever, and it's like not sucking it up anymore and you're getting really angry, but you're like, oh, it's actually my fault because I forgot to like empty the tank the last time I did this. So I really didn't set myself up for success here. I got to go empty that shit before I can start this and allow more to be sucked up and received. Get where I'm going with this? Okay. So the key thing I want you to take away for the capacity portion is consistency stops feeling scary when your body stops expecting loss. I want you to reframe the questions you ask yourself, because our self-talk is one of the biggest things that can change everything. Okay? I want you to stop being like, why am I so broke? Why don't I have a husband? Why is he like this? Why is she saying that? Okay? I want the whys to shift. Why am I so happy? Woo! Feel that in your body really quick. Okay? Close your eyes. Why am I so happy? Why do people love to pay me? Why do I have the love I deserve? Why am I so healthy? The whys we ask matter, because here's the thing with our brain and the way it's wired, when our sub and our conscious minds collide, when you ask yourself a why question, your brain on the subconscious level immediately goes hunting for the answer. Why am I broke? Oh, here's a bill. Why am I broke? Oh, sorry you got laid off. Ask different questions. Why am I so rich? Why am I so hot? Why do people love to pay me for my advice? Okay? I know I'm getting really excited. I need a drink. Okay. Pillar 3, receiving. Whew. This is the one I'm currently in. Okay? I don't sit here on like a little pedestal where I'm like, I've got this shit all figured out, because I don't. I don't know all of it, okay? But I will say, those other two, I'm not going to call them mastered, but I have recognized the pattern, and I recognize it sooner every time it happens. So I don't have this snowball effect of all of this crazy shit happening or finding myself in situations that I don't want to be in anymore, because I recognize the pattern more like quicker, right? Like sooner. And I'm able to like course correct my way out of it. Whereas receiving is hard. Receiving is so fucking hard for me, and it's something that I work on daily, okay? So this part, we're in this part together, okay? I'm just sharing my knowledge on it, so hopefully it can help you. But receiving is the goal here, the shift from survival mode to your receptive feminine energy, okay? Because here's the thing. I don't know about you, but I have been hyper independent for too fucking long, okay? The healing hyper independence is so hard, so hard. Learning to ask for help, rather caught dead. I would rather carry a couch by myself on a subway through New York than ask someone to help me move. Yep. That is literally the survival mode I'm trying to unwind, okay? Also, the differentiating between intuition and anxiety. Big, huge. That's giving a pretty woman movement. Huge, big mistake, okay? The difference between intuition and anxiety. It matters, okay? Your anxiety will live in your chest. Your intuition is in your gut, or a weird little voice that isn't yours. We'll get to the voices, okay? But here are some embodiment practices that you can practice for receiving, okay? Softening your shoulders. Because you know what that does? This is closed off. This is closed off. This expansion, collarbones open, shoulders back, head high. I'm ready. Give me. You're open to receive. Your heart is open to receive, okay? Another one, like I did in the beginning, relax your fucking jaw. What are you chewing on? Conversations from the 2010s? Why? Let it go. Swallow that shit, okay? Full exhale breath. This is something that I've been learning really recently in my Pilates training, and that's why I had us do it in the beginning. Breathing in through the nose, out through the nose. What it actually does is oxygenates better in our body, and it gives us the correct amount of getting fully deep into our diaphragm, but it just like gives us that oxygenated breath and flow into our bloodstream and our organs, which does beautiful things for your nervous system, okay? So I do that and I instantly just feel like, oh, all right, maybe shit ain't so bad. I mean, shit can still be bad, but you know what I mean? Try it. I know you felt a difference. Don't lie. Okay. Noticing like pleasure or just micro joys. I call them glimmers. So if you follow me on Instagram, I'm sure this looks familiar. I have hella disco balls over here and it's intentional. I have a huge wall of windows here and I've got skylights. And in the morning, my disco balls will just like glimmer up the entire ceiling, all of my walls. And I love when I wake up in the morning, it's still dark out because of where I live, but I will open all my windows, take my daughter to school, go to Pilates, and I will come home and my whole living room will look like I'm inside of a mirror ball. And it makes me so happy, okay? Just finding little things in life that can make you happy, like those little glimmers throughout your day that may be so unbeknownst to most and just like whatever, but like anything that gives you that like micro sense of joy or like childlike feeling, practice that, okay? Because here's the thing, most women don't struggle with manifesting love. You struggle letting the love land. Like I said, I manifested men after my divorce, okay? A lot. No, that makes me sound like a slut. I know I was, but not then. Right. It never stuck. One, because it wasn't the right person and it wasn't supposed to. This or something better. We'll get there. But I didn't have the capacity to hold any of it. Any of it. So it would come and go. Okay? So here are some things that I really, really, really want you to just like resonate with. Okay? One, like I just mentioned, it is this or something better. It isn't, well, let me back up. Okay. The universe, God, source, universe, whatever you call it, resonate with, identify, I don't care. It is all the same in my mind. I actually, when I sit in prayer, I'm like, dear Gus, God, universe, source. That's just what I say. I'll be like, all right, Gus. And then it makes me think of Cinderella. I'm like, Gus. I'll sit in that, okay? So it doesn't matter. The universe, God, will never remove something from your life and give you something shittier. It won't. It is literally this or something better. So either this is gonna shape shift and and grow with you or mold into exactly what it is you desire, or it is going to be removed and you are going to get something so much fucking better than this ever was. And I'll give you my marriage, for example. Like I said, got married before this was developed. I didn't even know who I was in that marriage relationship whatsoever. He ended up having an affair, blah, 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 tales all his time. But I am so grateful because had that not happened, I would have never left. And I would not be in this space of better now at all, where I am fully seen, fully, unconditionally loved to my core, and in a relationship that grows with me. And it's not always easy. It can be really hard and it can be really uncomfortable, like we talked about, where I've come from chaos and now I'm in more of a stable, healthy partnership, and it can be really uncomfy, right? But it literally is this or something better, okay? Always, promise. And sometimes the gap between the two feel long, okay? But it will happen, I promise you that, okay? 10 out of 10. So I'm gonna sit and pull some cards, and before we go into closing here, I want to open this up for your mind. And if there's any questions that this, masterclass has dropped heavy on your heart, DM me, ask me, okay? One, I want to hear what you think of it and what your takeaways are, right? But also, if there's anything that you're like, I wish you went a little more deeper into that, or what do you mean by this, Molly? Let me tell you, okay? But you got to DM me, and I will gladly continue the conversations online. Ooh, okay. We're getting some good ones here, guys. This is one of my favorite oracle decks. I prefer oracle over tarot, just a preference. I have plenty of tarot decks, and I still do use them, but I actually like oracle decks. And the reason I love these so much is it's like cards for dummies. All cards come with a book usually. I think I lost this one, but all the tarots have a meaning descriptive book that will coincide, and it's easy to do. But I love the oracles because they're you'll see as I show you, point, matter of fact, descriptive, and this is one of my favorite ones. Ooh, okay. Ooh. Oh, that was good. We should talk more about that. See, we got to do a part 2. Okay. Oh, these are so good. All right, so we're going to do, guys. All right, damn. Okay. So the first one that I really want to speak on, so again, these are like angel cards, but they're also coinciding with a stone. This is the yellow jasper. It's control issues. Hi, my name is Molly and I have control issues. Utilize your God-given strength and power instead of fearing others may try to control you. Okay, that's what regulation is, baby. Control yourself. Don't be controlled. Okay. The next one, it's multifaceted. Okay. Says there are many layers and dimensions to the situation or person you're asking about. You're layered, they're layered, we're all layered, okay? We have to ask ourselves, are they worth peeling back the onion? But most importantly, you are. So give yourself time to go through the layers and unwind yourself, all right? Which leads me into this next card. It's just so good. Balancing masculine and feminine energies, okay? Allow your feminine side to creatively inspire you, and your masculine side to give you the confidence, okay? So it's not male, female, it's just literally energy, masculine versus feminine. And when we're in our masculine, that is the doing and structure, right? And the hustle and the grind. And then when we're in our feminine, it's our receiving, just being, existing. Okay, you've got to have both, because if you falter to one or the other, That's when life feels chaotic and overwhelming and just like you kind of get lost. But the more you can balance the two, hi, I'm a Libra, you will find that peace that will feel like boredom. But we want that. All right, the next one, healthy communication in relationships. Hi, is that now what we're talking about? Okay. Heart to heart discussions and clear, emphasis on clear, assertive communication help you understand and be understood. So good. All right. Sensitive emotions. Girl, are we all? Times of heightened emotions and sensitivity call for extra self-care and gentleness. So let me say this, okay? Rest isn't lazy. Rest is a revenue strategy. It is part of receiving. If you cannot rest without guilt or shame, keep resting. You existing is the only thing you have to do in this earth. You don't need to earn it. You don't need to do it. You don't need to fucking become anything. You just need to exist in a full embodiment of your balanced feminine and masculine energy of receiving and doing in that flow. Okay? Last one. I love this card came out. I feel like I'm in a moment myself, but life-changing epiphany or experience. It's a time of big blessed change for you, and God is supporting you each step of the way. Change can feel scary, but change is the only thing that's constant in our life. The only thing, besides yourselves. But you're constantly changing. See what I mean? So, I love you. I hope that if this masterclass kind of like cracked something open in you, if you felt something in your body soften, if your mind connected some dots to something tonight, I invite you to join Seven Society. There's multiple tiers, but the easiest access point, $77. We spend a week together. You get a one-on-one call, and then you have access to me for 7 days. Which I'm going to give you guys access to me for 7 days after this as a free bonus gift for watching the entire thing. So you'll get to experience some DMs with me for 7 days. But if you want to hop on a call, I can do a personal reading for you, and we can kind of dive deeper into your specific situation, and I can help create a guide for your nervous system regulation and the tools that will help benefit you the most based on where you are and where you want to go. But I would love to have you in Seven Society. I'm slowly in my era of rebuilding an empire. Like I said, if you've been here for a while, I was in the beauty industry for a long time, and I walked away from that a couple summers ago when I moved here. And I'm really I've been in my bored era, which is my peace era the last couple years, and I feel like I'm finally coming out of hibernation, and I hope to grow Seven Society into an online virtual wellness space where women can come and feel safe and supported and find friends of like-mindedness. And I'm going to start doing lots of pop-ups. I've got some pop-ups planned here in Detroit if you're local. I've got some in Columbus coming up where I'm from. And then next summer, we're Cleveland bound, baby, and we're taking over. But those days are going to look fun, and they're going to be like wellness days where we're going to do a little body movement, drop in like that, way deeper, have some good conversations, always enjoying some food, maybe some matcha, things like that. So I'm really looking forward to just revving up Seven more as the year unfolds, but go full send in 2026. But I would love to have you. I have a very intimate group of women in my Seven Society membership right now, and you would be a part of that, which we would love to have you. Also, another way that I can support you in regulating your nervous system, there are some products that I am affiliate of. I can send you a link. It's incredible. It's literally just a vitamin supplement and then a cortisol coffee, and I'm telling you, instant energy. I am a person who, like, I'll see the post and I'll be like, okay, gimmick. Nope. I literally had someone send me a sample of this to try before I even buy, and I noticed a difference 15 minutes after I took the drink and like the supplement. It's like a duo. I had my brain fog gone, energy amplified. I like run around here like a mad woman getting shit done, and I can feel my body exhaling, as well as helping with my cortisol and my hormone levels, which I am currently in rehab of because I was on Ozempic, well, semaglutide, for 2.5 years, and I'm trying to redo my system from that. But the one thing I loved about that was the way that it regulated my hormones, my blood sugar levels, and that's what this is doing now on a holistic approach, and I love it. So those are the ways that I can extend offers to you if you need more help or anything like that. But other than that, I hope you took some takeaways away. I would love to hear from you. Please DM me. I'm dying to know what you thought or what you learned from this, and bookmark me, save this for later, watch it as many times as you want. It's yours forever. I'm also attaching a guide on how to regulate your nervous system. And it's not exactly what we talked about here because this is more relationship focused, but it's more general and just kind of walks you through everything. But it's a free ebook and welcome book that I have that I'm going to offer to you, as well as 7 days hanging out with me in the DMs. So I'll talk to you soon. Bye.